A very warm welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining us on this overview. We're here to take a look at overview at the Aurum opportunity. And I'm just an independent, I suppose, associate. I don't work for the company. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just here to give you my opinion, my view, the little bit of due diligence that I've done to share with you that goes maybe some way towards helping you make a decision, of course. But it's always advisable, when you're getting involved in any business, just seek professional advice. I very often talk to my accountant about any business. They seem to have a general good overview of most types of business because they're dealing with lots of different business owners. So that's who I would use. But seek professional advice, financial advice, if you're making any business or investment decisions. That's always good advice, guys. So, but that said, what we're here just as educators. We're here just to share information. I'm not here to sell you anything. In fact, I don't have anything to sell. And in fact, the person that invited you here has nothing to sell either. What we actually do is we point you towards a website, and over there you can do the business with the company who's licensed. We aren't financial advisors. We're not licensed to sell securities or investments, and we don't want to do that. We want to just share some information with all of you. I think the first thing we need to do is look at who's behind the company, who's running the company. Do they have any experience? Would be very important. Are they trying to use our money to build their dreams, their company? That's what I'd be looking at. Or do they have enough money to establish it without our money? I'd be looking at things like, is it scalable? Is it sustainable? These are the type of things I kind of look at. But it comes down to who's running the operations. And I was very pleased to see that Bryan Benson is the CEO, a guy with a lot of experience. In fact, he was a trader at the Morgan Stanley Bank in the United States. Actually, when he left school, or university, should I say, he went straight into the bank. That's where he started. And he was headhunted by a very big company called Binance. Well, at that time, they weren't so big, but Bryan helped them along the way. He became the managing director for Binance, and not just of one little area. In fact, this man brought 20% of all Binance global revenue to Binance through his operations, through his initiatives. He actually opened the Mexican market, the Brazilian market, Chile, Peru, Colombia, Paraguay, everywhere in between what's known as LATAM or Latin America. And Bryan opened the Binance companies in his name, not in Binance's name. All these companies were set up for Bryan. And then when it was established, ready to go, CZ, the owner, came in and then put the Binance brand on top of them. So it shows you that this guy has a lot of experience. I was pleased to see that, not just from trading, but operating and growing businesses. He also was there's a blockchain called Algorand. This guy was one of the ambassadors for that blockchain as well. He's built techs for banks as well. He's developed applications. So he's quite a smart guy, I'll tell you. I'm just pleased to see that he's the CEO. I also believe that he brought a $12 million venture capitalist to Aurum to test out this technology and these bots at the outset. So he's a big role here to play at Aurum, and that's fantastic. I did a quick Google search on him, and if you were going to do that yourselves, just type in BRY. It's not BRI, BRY. And I just put the word Binance. You can see here, that's my search, Bryan Benson Binance. I just wanted to see who he is. Does he exist? Is he an actor? Does anybody know who this guy is? Well, look what popped up. I actually popped up images. I just wanted to see, was it the same guy? And yes, in fact, that image was taken by Forbes magazine. And they're a very reputable media company too. But you can see him with the Binance shirt, the Binance t-shirt. He opened the offices. He built all the relationships with the banking, did whatever due diligence was required to open those markets. So I think we're dealing with somebody with a lot of experience. Aurum have been mentioned favorably in Forbes magazine. They've written that this provides institutional grade trading, which is a safer type of trading. It's better profile of risk management, the type of institutional grade trading that the likes of a bank would use, or these big finance houses like BlackRock and Strategy. Have you heard of Michael Saylor's Strategy? Used to be called MicroStrategy. These are the big tech firms that are using not just institutional grade trading, they're also using AI. And if you did some research into AI and trading, you'll find that 80% of the banks and 80% of the finance houses are all using AI to do trading. So it's not something, I mean, I originally thought, oh, wow, this is special. Well, no, 80% of them are now using this type of technology. Aurum got a valuation of $100 million when it launched. And that was based on the assets it had under managed. That was based on they've got these strategies for the trading bots, the value of all of that. And I think Binance wrote about it as well, and it's held on news wires. It's a lot of interviews done about this. And then I was blown away to see that the issuing bank of Visa also are on board here too. So obviously, they would have to know who the directors are, who the CEO is. They would have to, I would assume they would have asked for last year's accounts. I assume they have their memorandum of articles and done their due diligence before they would even allow Aurum to put their same name on the card that produced these Visa cards. You see all these are listed with the 16 digits in the on the back here, the valid through date, and the 3 digits for the CV. But this is an incredible product. I'll talk more about this later, but it's a great part of the whole system. And I'm very fond of this piece of plastic, and I'll tell you why a little bit later. And then we were delighted to see that the CEO himself was one of the main speakers at the world's largest crypto conference. It's called Token 2049. This year it was held in Singapore, same time as the Formula One. 25,000 people showed up, and they paid, the tickets were $999 US. Let's call it $1,000 to get in. So I don't know what you'd pay to go and see the best band in the world or the best concert in the world. I wouldn't pay $1,000, but this guy got 25,000 people show up, and that was just 2 months ago. And they had a stand or a booth at this event. I believe they possibly were a sponsor as well. But look, his old friend Richard Teng was speaking as well. So Richard and Bryan worked together in Binance. And when CZ moved on, Richard got the job when Bryan didn't. So I suppose he was a little bit disappointed in that. But here we have him to our advantage now here, holding up the business here at Aurum. So I think he's a great guy. Now, also, they have these very special machines. Now, you might see these in every shop in the world, but the ones you see in the shops in the world only accept fiat payments. They accept your traditional currencies. And when you tap your traditional cards, these machines work very, very well all over the world. But this one's a little bit special because here you can spend crypto. And that means you can use, it actually does both. You can pay with standard money or cryptocurrency, and that's what they're coding at the minute. Now, they already have the prototype in their hand. It's not as though, oh, it's miles away. And if we're featuring this product, this is almost ready to rock. And I believe that anybody that qualifies for the launch in Dubai will be able to test this machine themselves. And you'll be asked to bring along your traditional banking card with fiat currency to buy, let's say, an Aurum t-shirt or an Aurum. They do lots of things, merchandise and stuff. Let's say you bought an Aurum t-shirt with fiat, and then you wanted a baseball hat, as an example. Then you create a cryptocurrency payment and use the same machine. So you will witness that it takes both payments. And this will be very exciting to roll this out throughout the world. And if you are the person, I believe, that puts this into a shop, you're going to get a micro payment every time this machine's used. So that's quite exciting as well. So we're talking now about a bigger infrastructure. They're also designing these ATM machines. These are not near ready to go like the point of sale terminal is, but nonetheless, for advertising purposes, to put these type of machines out here where it takes cash in and sends crypto to your account, to your wallet. Or if you needed the cash, it does the opposite. You generate a QR code for your crypto. Let's say you needed $200. You type in $200, create QR code, go over to the ATM machine, scan it on the ATM machine, and it goes and pays you out your paper money. So it's a two-way machine, crypto in, cash out, or cash in. You can feed it into the machine like a vending machine, and it gives you crypto, convert cash to crypto. So very interesting ecosystem. Not only that, they've got this exchange that they were going to launch in January at the official launch on the 17th of January 2026. Well, that's not going to happen, guys, because it's already happened. They've launched it 2 months ahead of time. And to set up an exchange is no mean feat. It's to get the liquidity. You know, if somebody wants to transfer US dollars to Bitcoin, it's got to be there. It's got to be liquid. It's got to be on the exchange. So to have this already ready, it shows you they're a company that's not using our money. It's a company that's well funded, a company that's got a lot of tech in the background, a company that appears to know where it's going, building a beautiful infrastructure here. Wow, I'm very, very impressed. I actually tried this myself. And you can go in here, you know, I mean, you don't even have to trade, but you might want to swap a little bit of USDT into XRP or Bitcoin or Solana. Let's say you feel the market's on a dip. Well, that's what they say, buy on the dip. So you might want to go in and do some of that kind of stuff there. Again, I'm not a financial advisor to tell you what to do. I haven't even did that. I did a deposit. But what was funny was I did a deposit of $1,000 just last week when this launched, and I nearly forgot about it. And when I logged in to show a friend, look, I put in $1,000. There was $1,008.94. So where did the $8.94 come? Because we weren't trading. This is just large depositing. Imagine you had money on Coinbase or Kraken or OKX or even on any wallet. Let's say you had it on MetaMask or Trust Wallet or Exodus, and you put in $1,000, and every time you go back, there's more without trading. So this is called liquidity staking. This is crypto staking. So I deposited $1,000, and I've already got $1,008.94, which without trading. And then I put in 0.1 Bitcoin. Can you see that? 0.1. Well, it was 0.1. That was it. Now it's 0.10018. It's starting to grow my Bitcoin. I went, wow, this is a great product. And in fact, this is where you can park up your cryptos without trading. And this beats real estate. This beats gold. This beats the bank, because they're offering to pay between 17%, I think is the lowest I saw on that list, between 17% and 20% a year. Now, you might say, well, a year? Yeah, in a year. This is real estate might make you 10% a year. Gold might make you 10% a year. The bank will make you nothing a year. Here's 17 to 20% on your cryptos. And here's the good news, guys. It's not locked in. You could put your Bitcoin in for a day and take it out tomorrow, or put in a little bit of Solana or Litecoin just for 3 days and take it out. There's no lock-in. So you're providing liquidity to the exchange. I think this is a super product. Very interesting to get traditional business people involved, because if they start here and they like this, they might then decide, well, what other products do these companies have? You know, I heard they do a Visa card. I heard this, I heard that. The Visa card gives you a way to spend your crypto. People have problems. They don't know how to spend it or where, who accepts it. Well, everybody in the world now accepts it through Aurum. Everybody that accepts Visa and MasterCard, because if you import your crypto from, I don't know where you have it, let's say you brought it in from Coinbase or from even Binance, you had some crypto, you put it into your Aurum account, you just go top up and put it back onto your card, and now you can go spend it. You don't need to find an exchanger. You don't need to go and find somebody to cash out. Convenient to go shopping. I think these are great products. So what's important now, we'll just take a listen to Bryan Benson himself. Bryan saw so many people over at Binance when he started over there, becoming millionaires and multi-millionaires. And he now, because he was an employee over there, here he's the CEO and a stakeholder in Aurum. He wants to create 1,000 millionaires here at Aurum. Have a listen to this.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires that We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires. We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires. We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires that don't have $1 million today. So if we can come up with a system whereby there's, you know, hundreds of thousands of people in there, but 1,000 of these people be turned into millionaires, then those assets are inside of our platform. That turns us into a unicorn right away. And so that's really the goal that I have as an executive at the company, is how do we get people that don't have $1 million today to get them to $1 million through saving, through yield-bearing assets, through a lot, you know, compounding interest, through a lot of these things that have been around for a long time, but that not everyone in the world uses. And these are tools that are super important to get us there. So that's how we're measuring it internally, is if we can get to the point where we have 1,000 people that have become millionaires through our system and through working with our products, then that gets us really close to the unicorn valuation. And yeah, we want to be a fintech unicorn. I think Binance was the fastest fintech unicorn ever in the history. Yeah. I think it took less than 6 months. We used to have a slide about that in our pitch deck. So I'm pretty sure I've done this before. I've been involved in one of the fastest growing fintech unicorns in the world. And I think what we have at Aurum is actually very similar to when I started at Binance.
You hear all of that? He's done it before. He wants to create 1,000 millionaires. That wasn't looping. That was me rewinding at the start of 1,000 millionaires, because you need to find these sound bites. And if you find it visionary, if you find it that this man can lead us in any direction towards that, from where you are today financially to where you'd like to be financially, I think this just might be one of those vehicles. But of course, I'm not sending out any links to recruit you here. I'm just sharing the information with you, and to get involved with the platform. If somebody refers you over there, it's going to cost you $20. They mightn't have told you that, but I'm telling you now. I call it 4 cups of coffee, but this allows you to use all of their products except the card, unfortunately. But $20 to use their fintech products is sensational, and I think it's great value. And let's talk about some of the products. They have quite a few already before launch, and obviously they're building more. There's a big product coming up in January to do with real estate, where you can buy real estate in Dubai for as little as $1,000. You can have a fraction of a bigger property, and you can share in the rent that's coming in from those properties. And if there's capital appreciation, you can benefit as well. So if you ever wanted to be involved in the real estate business, well, I think that's coming up in January. We're definitely going to hear something about that at the launch. So it shows you, again, such a big ecosystem. And many of these companies I've listened to before are talking about mañana, tomorrow. This company is delivering today, and January's not too far away. So very pleased with what I'm seeing so far. This is my favorite product. It's called the XAI bot, or EXAI bot, whatever way you want to say that. What I like about this is it's over 2 years old, so it's not some new toy. It's been around. As I said, Bryan Benson brought over that $12 million of venture capitalist money to the platform to test this bot out. And those guys are having sensational results. I think that in total, the direct sales part of what we do, the affiliate part of what we do, represents 35% of the entire trading fund. And they're only telling us what probably the network has. The network has about $43 million trading, and that was on the 14th of October. Well, this slide's a little bit out of date now, going back to the 14th of October, but certainly the last week of November 25, they had over 50 million trading in this bot. And by the way, they have 7 bots. This is just one of them. This is my favorite. There's no doubt about it. And the reason it is it actually performs the best. And how it works is it depends what you deposit in your own account as to what you're going to benefit from. So let's hypothetically suggest that you try this for $135, right? You pop in $135. Therefore, it's going to fall into this first category. You could pop in $170 or even $100, but somewhere in this range here, you're going to get a benefit of about 10% a month. And that's very good. For those of you who can do more than that, let's say you're able to do $400 or $700 or $908, whatever. There's no packages here. It's just make a deposit, and wherever it fits into, it gets these benefits. So those that fall into this second category, they'll get about 11% a month. Those of you that could do between 1,000 and 2.5, you guys will get about 12% a month. Those of you that could do between 2.5 and 5, you're going to get 13. So what you can see happening here is the larger the deposit, the better the benefit. Is the company making money? That's the big thing I wanted to know. Is this company just giving away all the money, or do they make money themselves? Well, you'll be keen to know that on average, this particular bot is doing about 17.5% a month. So if you're getting 10%, the company's making 7%. They get the difference. They get the spread. For those of you getting 11%, the company makes 6%. For those that get 12%, the company makes 5%. So I was pleased to see that not only is the customers winning, but everybody has to win. And I would have no issue with the company making money here as well. That's a very important thing. The other thing is good is that your profits. You can withdraw those every day, and I've seen this company paying out every single day. There's never a day I haven't seen them paying out. That's important, and the withdrawal fees are very, very low. Now, I used to say that the withdrawal fees are 1% plus $1. Well, that is true if you're withdrawing USDT BEP20. But I've learned that if you withdraw TRC20 USDT, it's 1% plus $3.50. So the different networks have different charges. So if you're taking out USDT BEP20, it's 1% withdrawal fee plus $1. But if you're taking out the Tron version, the TRC20 version, it's still 1%, but there's a $3.50 charge on the Tron network. So just so you know that, but those fees are nothing. I've seen platforms asking for 10%. Somebody told me recently they're on a platform that's 12% to withdraw your money, which is incredible. 1% is fantastic. Now, I'm going to show you a typical client account. This is what I would call a small account with $500, you can see, and that was deposited. You can see the date created at the 17th of April, 2025. Okay, so from the 17th of April to 2025, and if we look at the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see it's the 17th of September when this screen grab was taken from this particular account. So from the 17th of April to the 17th of September, that represents 5 trading months. So here we have some data, at least to go by, and we can see that the account has earned 382. Okay, so the 500 is 882, but the profit element is only 382. And it's, in terms of a percentage, that's exceptional. To work out a percentage, what you do is, if you remember from school, you put the profit, the 382, and you set it on top of the deposit, which was the 500, and you divide the 500 into the 382. Now, you can do it on your phone, you can do it on a calculator, but when you work out the percentage, this account has done 76% in 5 months. Well, if you have money in the bank, you know what it's going to do in 5 months, and if you have money in property, it'll probably do 10% in a year. And if you buy gold, you'll probably do 10% in a year. Well, here's a live demonstration of 76% in 5 months for a small account. And guys, the bigger accounts are doing much, much better. Here's another example. This account was started on the 10th of April. Can you see here, 10th of April? And the account number ends in numbers 1972, just so you're following what's going on here. If you look in the bottom right-hand side of the screen, just under the red arrow, at 10:23 on the 16th of May, the account was sitting at 12,360. So it was started in April, and 6 weeks later, in May, it had made $2,360. Now that's very, very, very good. So we did a summary of this account, and we've tracked it along. So in the first 5 weeks, it made 23%. 10,000 is now 12,000. After 10 weeks, you can see on the 24th of June, the account had jumped up to 15,500. So it made another 2,000 or 3,000 there in those next 5 weeks. And then after 12 weeks, just 2 more weeks, it made another 2,000, almost 2,000. So it made 74% in 12 weeks. And then after 4 months, this account actually doubled for the customer. Their 10,000 deposit is now 20,000. Now, of course, 20,000 isn't the profit, guys. The profit actually was 10,398 because the customer put in 10,000 of their own money, but it's now worth 20,000. So that's very good in 4 months. And we can give you an update as of the 10th of November. So let's have a look now. If you look at the bottom here, it is the same account number. Can you see that? 1972 started on the 10th of April. Well, and if you look in the bottom right, it's the 10th of November. So after 7 months, the account went from 10,000 to 20,000 to 30,000. It's actually sitting at 33,000 after 7 months. Sensational, sensational. And this customer also has other accounts. You could have, let's say you have grandkids. You want to open a little account and put $100 in for the grandchild or the granddaughter. Maybe you've got your own kids. Maybe you want to save for next year's holidays. So you could put 100 in and get that working, or a couple of hundred in there. Or maybe you have other goals, maybe for your retirement, or maybe to pay off a mortgage. So you can have multiple accounts inside one, or you can have a single one by simply pressing the top up button, which is good. So there you go. That's my favorite product. And they have other bots as well. There's 7 in total. That's just one. The other 6 are found over on Telegram. One is called the Pro. The other one's called the Zeus Bot. And over here in Telegram, Instead of searching for somebody's name, you just search for Aurum Neobank. You'll find that lots of these banks are opening up now. Even the traditional banks, they're closing down their stores on the high street, and they're forcing us to go online. You've probably noticed that. I know in our town here, I think we had about 13 banks at one stage. You know how many there are now? A bank that you could walk into? One. 12 of the other banks have closed up and gone away. Or they went to bigger cities and then they closed them as well. They're forcing everybody onto the online. Well, these new neobanks, Aurum already have theirs up and running. And whilst this is on Telegram, I can tell you, I heard recently that there will be a native app, a banking app that you can download from Apple and Google. Now, it's already out there getting approved by Apple and Google. And once that's approved, you won't have to go to Telegram. You'll be able to open your own banking app on your phone, which is great. But right now, here we have it. This is where you order your Visa card if you're interested. But they've these 6 other bots. Now, the one I'm going to look at right now is the Bitcoin. So this Bitcoin bot was started on the 31st of May. 31st of May. And the deposit made over here was 0.7 Bitcoin. And that account went from 0.7 to 0.74, 78, 8.1. You can see it on the screen, but it didn't stop there. I know many of you were watching this account growing from 0.81 to 8.2 and jumped up to 8.4 and all the way to 8.8. And many of you only came onto these presentations when it was up at 0.91. That's maybe where you started seeing it to grow. It went to 9.3, 9.6, 9.9. And the initial goal was to take 0.7 of a Bitcoin all the way to a full Bitcoin, because, you know, how nice would it be to have at least one Bitcoin? This customer had 0.7, and they brought it all the way up to one full Bitcoin. And it was quite exciting to see that you can do that. But it's more than one Bitcoin now. This happened at the beginning of November, and 3 weeks later, it went to 1.1. So it's actually made another $10,000 in this last 3 weeks. So, which is incredible, absolutely incredible. And there are other customers trying this out as well. There's larger customers doing it. But the good news is you can start any of these with just $100. You need a minimum of $100 to get one of these bots to work for you. So you don't have to start with 0.7. But that's just an example to show you the potential and what's going on. And the last product I want to talk about is the card. And very, very briefly, everybody knows how a card works. We don't need to educate anybody. But the unique difference here is there's no KYC required on this particular one. So they have 2 cards where you have to do KYC, and they have 2 cards that you don't need to do KYC. You can put up to $100,000 a month. I don't know who needs that, but that's the spending power. If you do more than that, then they will be asking you different things like anti-money laundering, AML, that's called. They'll be asking for your passport and your driving license, but if it's under 100,000, they don't ask, and that is sensational. Now you can spend your cryptocurrency anywhere where Visa and MasterCard are accepted. They're also going to build in a cashback program. So if we start using the card, some of the merchants will give us cashback, and they're also going to build in a loyalty program. The cards are going to start when they launch fully at $33 with no monthly fees, and that's a one-time $33. There's going to be a $66 version of $99. They've all got different benefits, but of course, my favorite is the big guy. And the big guy is $249 to have a non-KYC crypto card that allows you to spend your crypto anywhere. I think that is sensational. It also has the lowest loading fees. It also has the biggest commissions, and we'll talk more about that later. But this presentation is to give you an overview. We're not here to give you all the nitty-gritty details. We're just trying to share as openly as we can what we've learned about it. I'd just like to show you the card working on this occasion. This gentleman from the UK had a trading bot, and he was making some profits, and he decided to stop the trading bot, and he pressed top up the card, and the cryptocurrency went up onto this card, and then he was sent down to the shop, one of the grocery shops, just to test it out. He was sent down to get some milk. Let's see how he got on.
Here we go then, second official transaction.
Like purple and white. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you, Mina.
Imagine spending cryptocurrency in a traditionally fiat world. So many great things are being achieved. And also, if you've got the physical card, it works at the ATM machines. We've seen that working on many times. And all in all, ladies and gentlemen, That's the presentation over for this occasion. I want to thank everybody for attending. I want to thank particularly our new guests looking at this for the first time. Please do get back to the person that shared this information with you. Get your very valid question answers. Get your due diligence done. And if you like what you see, well, maybe we'll see you again on another occasion. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.
Recording stopped.
Okay, I just did that because I noticed that was like about 25 minutes, was it? Or something fast. So some people say, can you not do them faster? Well, yeah, I can do them very fast. I can do it in a minute. But if I do it in a minute, it's going to take an hour answering questions. So I try to leave it that you have very little questions to ask. That's the idea. You know, if somebody said, oh, can you not do your presentation in 20 minutes? I can if you want to spend an hour answering questions. But I try to answer the questions as we go along to cover as much information as fluently as I can. I don't like interruptions. And hopefully that's a nice little recording if we ever need that. Let's now, for those of you who'd like to stay on, we have an, oh my goodness. How many people do you think's on the Zoom? I never noticed. Nearly a record. I know you're all guessing and shouting because you can't chat. The reason you can't chat is because that's distractions. You see, if, by the way, there's 201 people on. I think last, and it might have been this day last week, but one day last week we had 202 I saw, and then it probably went up to about 208 or something, but I didn't see that because I don't see when I'm presenting, but I can see it now. And oh, one of you's just dropped off. All right, so there's 200 on it right now. That's a very good number. I like that number. 99. Oh, you're all going to, oh, you're back in again. Back up to 200. So what's happening is sometimes people get disconnected with their internet depending on which part of the world they're from. But somebody's sending me messages here. When you finish your Zoom, you get free, please call me. No, I'm taking the rest of the day off. So what we have an optional affiliate program that you don't have to do. It's no obligation to do that at all. It's not, you know, the good thing is it doesn't cost anything to do the affiliate program. You know, if you do like it, it doesn't cost anything. It's part of your membership. So you get a referral link, just like Amazon have one and Apple have one. So if you wanted to refer customers to the website, the customer's dealing directly with the company. They're not dealing with you because you're not licensed to sell any type of service like this. So, but all you are is a referral agent. You're pointing people, like you point someone to, if somebody said to you, can you tell me where there's a nice Indian restaurant? You say, oh yeah, that if you go down about 300 yards on the left-hand side, it's next door to the shoe shop upstairs, great place. You would make you're pointing them to the restaurant. You're not actually cooking the food or making the food, but and the same, we always recommend stuff. So for those of you who'd like to stay on, and let's see how many we lost. Yeah, we only lost 2 people, so we're at 199. Maybe we'll show you the affiliate program because that's quite interesting as well. So here we go.
Recording in progress.
Well, thank you for watching this short session. We're here to share with you the affiliate program that's associated with the Aurum Foundation. You probably would have needed to watch the first part where we take an overview, we take a good look at the company and who's behind it, we look at their products, we examine their products, we test their products. We have a short 25-30 minute video on that. But on this occasion, we're now looking at the affiliate program for those of you that might care to share this idea with others. Of course, there's no obligation to do it. The good news is it doesn't cost anything to be an affiliate. It's part of your account. You have a referral link, and you either opt to use it or you don't have to use it. There's no obligation whatsoever to share this with anybody. However, if you do, there's some benefits, and many companies today are operating affiliate programs. I know the biggest companies in the world have one. You know, Apple have an affiliate program. If you go to the bottom of Apple's website, go down to the very bottom, you just check for affiliate programs. You click there. Simply, if you were an Apple, I am, but if you're an Apple user and you referred customers to them, they will give you rewards for the recommendation. It's just a thank you bonus, really. Amazon have one as well. Lots of the banks have them as well. Quite a few shops have them, and businesses have affiliate programs. I don't know if you know Tesco. I don't know where you're dialing in from, but Tesco's are quite a big store, certainly in the UK and Ireland. It probably does about 40% of the domestic a residential grocery shopping would be conducted inside a Tesco store. They have an affiliate program as well if you go to their website. So even the shops are doing it. So why not? Aurum decided to do it as well. And by the way, Binance also has an affiliate program. So let's take a look at Aurum's and see is it any good. How it works is very, very simple. It's not one of these multi-level things, you know, the way you can have these, you get paid down 7 levels and 10 levels, all that nonsense. It's not that kind of a program. It's more to do with ranking and volume, if that makes sense. So when I saw this first slide, I went, oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 levels. I went, no. Get that out of your head. This is just a table with numbers on it. There's no levels. What we have on the left-hand side is ranks. And for you to understand a rank, it's quite easy if you think of traditional business. So maybe you started when you left school in the shop and you were stacking the shelves or brushing the floor. You start on the ground floor. And maybe after 8 months, the boss promotes you to the supervisor because you've done a great job. And then maybe you're a supervisor on the store for, I don't know, 8 months, a year. And you might get a tap on the shoulder. Hey, there's a position going as manager of the shop. And then maybe you get a promotion. And with each promotion comes a pay rise. And then maybe you're working in that shop for 2 or 3 years. And the boss says, you know what? This is the best store in the county, you know, in the town, in the city, whatever. And we have 6 shops. You know, I'd like you to be area manager of all of the stores now, not just this one, and you get a pay rise again. And then maybe 10 years later, you're a director in this big company. So that's how business works. We have ranks, and Aurum have gone for the same type of program. So we have ranks, and everybody starts as a Nova, and as a Nova means new, you get 3% on the deposits. It's a thank you bonus. Hey, we've got a customer on account of your recommendation. Here's 3% of their deposits. It's very, very simple. If the customer makes a second deposit, you get 3% again. If they make a third deposit, you get 3% again. So it's very, very simple. It's a one-level thing, not one of these multi-level things. It's just you get paid 3% on your own customers. It's as simple as that. There is a rule, however. You must have $100 trading yourself. So if you have that $100 trading, you're eligible to receive this 3% on deposits. And it's just a nice little thank you bonus. Now, you can see just under it, there is a 5% availability here. Can you see this 5%? To achieve 5% instead of 3, you need the pay rise. You need to go from the ground floor to supervisor. Well, that's from Nova to Voyager. It's the same thing. When you have $7,500 in total team trading, that's your customers and theirs and theirs and theirs. The total volume, so it's not levels, it's the volume of all customers in the business that have come initially through your referral link. When that hits 7,500 in that EXI bot, you get promoted instantly to 5% on your own customer deposits. And imagine one of your customers referred a customer, they get 3, you get 2 on those. So you're getting 2% on to infinity levels deep as long as you hit that Voyager. And here's something very cool, I think. You get your money back as well, because in this example, of course, we started with a $100 contribution. Well, once you hit the first rank, they said, hey, there's your $100 back. So out of risk totally by just hitting that first rank. Now, of course, what could you do with that 100? You could withdraw it to any wallet of your choice, USDT, USDC, I believe, the Tron version, TRC version, the BEP version, or you could pop it onto the card if you've one of those and go spend it. Or I see some people actually adding it to the trading bot so that they've got more trading instead of just the initial deposit. So it's your money. It's up to you what you'd like to do with that. But there's another bonus over here on the right-hand side, and this is exceptional. This bonus, I mean, over here it's 5%, over here it's 5%. So what's the difference? Well, this one's better. Well, how could it be better? 5% is 5%. How could one be better than the other? You see, this is just on the deposit. This one you get every day. That's why it's better, every day. So as each of your customers make their profits, the company takes 5% of the profits and send it to you if it's part of your team. So, and that can go infinity generations in depth based on all the volume. And the other thing I like about it is, even if you only had $100 trading, but somebody put in Bitcoin and you don't have Bitcoin, you will get paid 5% in Bitcoin for those customers. Maybe another customer tried Ethereum to trade on the Zeus bot, where now you get paid in Ethereum, or somebody did BNB over those other bots, you get paid in BNB. So you can actually build a nice portfolio of coins here, even if you didn't have those coins yourself. So I kind of like that kind of bonus there. Sounds very, very, very cool. And of course, if you want to do better than 5%, well, all you need to do is get another promotion. And that's like going from supervisor to manager. You're going from Voyager to Vanguard. And now you get 7% on all your own customer deposits. If one of your customers got a customer, they're going to get 3%, like you used to get. And now you get 4% on them to infinity. 4% on all the volume, all the deposits, infinity generations in depth, as long as you're the only Vanguard or there's no Voyagers in the way. If there's a Voyager in the way, let's say somebody gets promoted to Voyager, well, then they get 5% to infinity and you get a 2% override. So this is known as a differential plan. It's really, really good. Also, for going Vanguard, you get a $500 instant cash bonus by smart contract. It just appears in your wallet instantly. And look at this profit from the team profit. Now you're getting a daily matching bonus of 7.5% on all your customers to infinity. Now, let's say one of your customers ended up going Voyager. What would happen? Well, they'll get 5% on their group to infinity. You get an override of 2.5% over the top of that to infinity, but you would get the 7.5% on all other open lines of business to infinity. So these are really, really good bonuses. You can also see your own personal contribution needs to rise as well to qualify for this. And if you've understood what I've said in those first 3 promotions, Nova, Voyager, and Vanguard, you understand about 95% of our compensation plan. There's a little bit of volume and structure things, but we cover that on training. You're very welcome to come and see that. But essentially, the larger the volume acquired inside that team trading, you get a promotion, you get a pay rise, you earn a little bit more, and with that comes additional cash bonuses of $1,000, $2,000 bonuses, $5,000 bonuses. It's incredible. We've lots of people achieving these bonuses. In fact, we had a 24-year-old gentleman who's never in the industry before. The day before yesterday became elite, and he got a $20,000 bonus. Imagine that, $20,000. This kid told me that he'd lost his job, and he wanted to know what he should do. And I said to him, well, I don't believe you can make money if you work for somebody else. You need to get into business for yourself, maybe start a taxi business or a coffee shop business. You need to get into business. So he said, well, I don't have any money to do that. He says, do you know of any other businesses? I said, well, what if I could show you a business, an international business for $20 with no staff, no wages, no premises, no insurance, no product development? Would that interest you? He says, how does that work? So I showed him this, and he got started. He was making $250 a month or a week. A month. He was making $250 a month. Now, that was good enough from the country he's from, but now he's gone all the way to elite in 4 months, and he got that $20,000. He called me the other day, couldn't believe it. He got that $20,000 bonus instantly to his account, on top of all the other previous bonuses. Now he's getting 14.5% on deposits. Now he's getting 19% daily matching bonus. And now he gets this shareholder bonus, which you need to come to the training and find out about this as well. This means you can get paid on all of the customers in the world, not just your own team, but cross line, up line, down line, every line. You're getting paid on the entire volume traded inside the ecosystem. Now, of course, you can also get a 50,000 bonus, 100,000 bonus. In fact, I did introduce another guy, as it happened, from Dubai, and he went Magnet in 4 months. He went Mythos in 6 months, and he's got these bonuses. And his lovely wife became Magnet. She got a 50. I mean, these are real stories, ladies and gentlemen. And you can follow us on training and learn how to build teams, how to build customer bases. We try and teach you as much as we possibly can about those kind of things. And you might have heard in the previous session, if you've ever heard the Bryan Benson videos, he very often talks about he wants to create 1,000 millionaires. Well, I have no doubt that my friend in Dubai, who's at Mythos, has only 2 more ranks to go, Legend and then Dominion. He gets a $500,000 cash bonus. Can you imagine? A $500,000 cash bonus. He's already at that stage would have the 150, the 100, the 50, and the 20. If you add that column up there, just from there upwards, it's $820,000. And remember the bonuses in the first page that I covered already. And look at all these. I mean, you're most certainly a dollar millionaire, a US dollar millionaire, if you can work your way to Dominion. And that's why I put a red box. I haven't even looked at the ones above it yet, but there's nobody in the company at Alpha, nobody at Pantheon, nobody at Archon yet, because the company hasn't launched fully yet. We cut the red tape on the 17th of January, next year. And I think the timing couldn't be any better if you're looking for an opportunity. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finish tonight's overview of the compensation plan. I hope you understood it. For the first time, I hope I made that simple for you, but we can get into the rest of the details at training. So thanks again, everyone. Thanks for sharing your time with us, and we hope you got some value tonight. Thanks and good night.
Recording stopped.